Hello, everyone, and happy Monday. This is Kenesha, and joining me today is the lovely Steven.
Hey, that's me.
Steven, just quickly, just introduce yourself again to everyone that's maybe watching this at some point.
Yeah, I'm Stephen Brock with Family Mortgage, so happy to be here with you today to kind of go over the new interest rate changes that are happening.
Yeah, so we heard that you're going to get penalized for having high interest rates. Higher credit score, I should say. So you're saying that if I have like a great credit score and I work so hard in getting my credit score up, if I get a mortgage, now I'm going to get bad news?
It's not necessarily like your rate's going to change. So these numbers are kind of on the back end of things. So usually the lender kind of sees what's going on. But there are changes where they are slight, but as I pulled it up here on the screen is, let's just go with the up to 740. After 740 and above, it was all the same. And then it's every 3% down, then 5, and then every 5% changes the rate that you're going to get. So those are the biggest factors that are out there right now.
But this is nothing new, right? Because they usually do this before. So what's making this change so much different than what has been done for more than a decade?
So what they have done is the back end numbers, they have slightly changed it and they have spread out the credit scores. So now instead of going, as you can see right over here, it used to just go up to 740. 800 was all exactly the same. They would be same all the way across. These two rows never existed. So now they brought it in 760 to 779 and 780 and above. So actually, if you do have a better credit score, you could be better off now.
So you're saying don't go on and stop paying my credit card and not pay my bill to get a lower credit score so get a better rate. So
correct.
That wouldn't help me. I just keep my credit score good still.
Yes, still want to keep it good because as you can see here, it did change a little bit when you're about the 740 to 15, 15 to 20% down or 15 to like 19.9% down. That's where that change hurt. So it's a 3/4 of a point where it would be off the rate, not the rate itself, but the fees that could be tacked on to it. So that is where we're kind of seeing the harshness come out. Now before, as you go all the way down to the bottom, it used to be at 720 and up, it starts trying to calculate your interest. So as you can see here, you're starting to see a lot more favorable people with lower credit scores to get a better interest rate. So this is just to make it easier for them to get into a home because we know how high interest rates are. So this should help kind of start offsetting it. It's not going to fully take it down, but it is a kind of a benefit that we're going to see. And the real news is, granted, this goes into effect May 1st. The pricing for this has already been into effect. So this is actually, these are for Fannie and Freddie mortgages, so conventional mortgages. So not FHA, not VA, not USDA. This has nothing to do with them at all. So this is only with conventional. And with those conventional, they've actually started seeing these rates come into effect for the last month or so. It's when when Fannie and Freddie will buy the mortgage. So when they buy the mortgage in the secondary market is when this goes into effect. So technically anything they buy after May will already have these pricings, but you could have closed the end of March and they're still buying it May 1st. So that's why you're not really seeing changes currently. Like if you went and said, hey, what is my rate, on the 30th of April, and then what's my rate on May 1st, it's going to be the same.
So bottom line is this change will make I think it's just a balance to make home a little bit more affordable for those who are struggling in terms of the rate. So it helps them, but it doesn't hurt those with higher credit score, but it's going to help those more so with a lower credit score and making home a little bit more affordable in a sense.
Correct. And it's really that sweet point is about the pain point for the higher credit scores is about 15% down. So they're putting, anywhere between 15 and 19% down. They're going to see the harshest part of it if they're over like a 700. But if they go over and start putting down, the 20, 25% down, they're actually going to be well off kind of thing. It's actually going to help them in the long term kind of thing. Now, as you can see, what they changed over here at 5% down and then 3% down. So sometimes that's usually just that first time home buyer on conventional. There was a lot of positive change in there for those first time home buyers. And that's really what they went into effect to try to help people. So those first time home buyers, it's usually typically where they're at is in here. Not everybody, but you can put 5% down on, the next home you buy. It doesn't have to be your first time home. but that's where it's really helping people out.
And I think what this does for it, and I think it's more so because we had such an influx of people buying secondary house, investors' house, and it making it a little bit harder for those who are going to be first-time home buyers. So, in essence, in summary, right? And so, in summary, this doesn't hurt anyone. Is the news that you're hearing is almost like a shock value for it's a clickbait to me. So you just have to learn to speak more to those who know so much as yourself, Stephen, who will give you the bottom line and the right information, and not the what we call those fake news, headlines, to create like uproar. And I think it just causes so much chaos. And so for us, we're just doing this now to like drown out all that chaos and demystifying all the myths. So we're myth busting the mortgage information at this moment. So thank you so much for doing this for me and those who will be watching.